Messi versus Ronaldo. For over 15 years, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo defined football's highest level, splitting 13 Ballon d'Ors between them from 2008 to 2023. In El Clásicos alone, they scored 18 goals each, an uncanny tie across countless battles between Barcelona and Real Madrid. Their duels weren't limited to La Liga. They also clashed in the Champions League and on the international stage, including the 2020's Nations League and Copa America era. The rivalry transcends stats because of their stark contrast in style. Messi, the Argentine playmaker, weaves through defenses with vision and balance, while Ronaldo, the Portuguese juggernaut, combines explosive pace, aerial dominance, and clinical finishing. They pushed each other to greater heights, each breaking scoring records year after year, eventually surpassing a combined 1,600 career goals. Even after Ronaldo's move to Juventus and later to Saudi Arabia, and Messi's stints at PSG and Inter Miami, the debate continues globally. Their era may be winding down, but no pair of players has defined a generation so completely, and no rivalry has divided fans more fiercely. Maradona versus Platini. In the 1980s Serie A, Diego Maradona and Michel Platini embody two opposite poles of football brilliance. Maradona lights up Naples with raw flair and defiance, while Platini orchestrates Juventus with elegance and poise. Their clubs clash at the top of Italian football, Napoli the southern underdogs, Juve the northern aristocrats, turning every fixture into a cultural battleground. On the international stage, Platini wins the 1984 Ballon d'Or after leading France to a European championship. But 2 years later, Maradona eclipses him with a legendary solo run to the 1986 World Cup title for Argentina. Platini retires in 1987 at just 32. Maradona's career spirals after a drug ban in 1991. One exits gracefully, the other crashes out, but both leave unmatched legacies. Ronaldo Nazario vs Shearer. In the mid-90s, two centre forwards redefined the number 9 role from opposite ends of the football map. Alan Shearer scores 34 league goals for Blackburn in 1994-95 and leads England to the Euro 1996 semi-finals with 5 goals, earning the Golden Boot. At the same time, a teenage Ronaldo Nazario explodes at PSV and Barcelona, hitting 47 goals in 49 matches in the 1996-97 season and winning the Ballon d'Or that year. Their primes overlap briefly but intensely. Ronaldo dazzles at the 1998 World Cup, despite a mysterious final, while Shearer captains England's golden generation with grit and consistency. Shearer claims a Premier League title in 1995, but Ronaldo collects 2 Ballon d'Ors and a World Cup despite recurring knee injuries. One defines club loyalty and physical power, the other becomes a global icon through pace and flair. Their careers cross at the perfect moment, but diverge just as quickly. Zidane vs Vieira. Zinedine Zidane and Patrick Vieira start as teammates and end as titans on opposing sides. Both anchor France's golden midfield in the late 1990s, lifting the World Cup in 1998 and the Euros in 2000. But as their club careers take divergent paths, the camaraderie gives way to tension, especially in the build-up to the 2006 World Cup. Zidane joins Real Madrid's Galacticos, commanding games with technique and timing. Vieira, meanwhile, becomes Arsenal's heartbeat and later moves to Juventus and Inter, where he builds a reputation for power and precision. In the 2006 Champions League group stage, the two face off again, Vieira with Inter, Zidane in his final season with Madrid. Their rivalry peaks in the 2006 World Cup final in Berlin. Zidane chips a penalty off the bar, Vieira battles tirelessly in midfield, and both go off before penalties. Their dynamic, one elegant, one relentless, mirrors France's internal duality that year. Iniesta versus Schweinsteiger. Andrés Iniesta and Bastian Schweinsteiger spend over a decade clashing at the heart of Europe's biggest matches. Their rivalry peaks in the 2010 World Cup final, where Iniesta scores the winner in the 116th minute, breaking German hearts and securing Spain's first world title. Schweinsteiger plays every minute of that tournament, anchoring Germany's midfield with resilience and range. Their paths cross repeatedly, Euro 2008, Euro 2012, and multiple Champions League ties between Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Iniesta orchestrates play with vision and movement, while Schweinsteiger relies on strength, positioning, and long-range delivery. The contrast defines their rivalry. Spain's tiki-taka maestro versus Germany's iron-willed engine. Both command respect as leaders of golden generations, each lifting the World Cup just 4 years apart. But in their head-to-heads, Iniesta often edges it, especially when trophies are on the line. Neymar versus Hazard. For nearly a decade, Neymar and Eden Hazard are seen as the next torchbearers after Messi and Ronaldo. From 2015 to 2018, both dominate highlight reels. Neymar dazzling at Barcelona and Hazard carrying Chelsea through clutch moments. They rack up goals, assists, and dribbles, constantly debated as the world's third-best player. Neymar becomes Brazil's great hope, starring in 2 World Cups and breaking Pelé's scoring record. Hazard leads Belgium's golden generation, guiding them to a third-place finish in 2018. Their flair, creativity, and low centres of gravity invite constant comparison. Who's more complete? Who delivers under pressure? But injuries reshape their legacies. Post-2019, Neymar's PSG years are disrupted by fitness issues, while Hazard's dream move to Real Madrid turns nightmarish. Once rivals for global supremacy, both now battle to reclaim former brilliance. Henry vs. Ruud van Nistelrooy. From 2001 to 2006, Thierry Henry and Ruud van Nistelrooy ignite one of the Premier League's most heated striker rivalries. Arsenal versus Manchester United is already fierce, but their personal scoring race raises the stakes. Henry claims 2 golden boots in that span, while Ruud grabs 1, and nearly more if not for injuries. Their styles couldn't be more different. Henry, a gliding forward with finesse and vision, scores from wide angles and build-up play. Van Nistelrooy, the pure poacher, finishes ruthlessly inside the box. Fans and pundits argue endlessly. The more complete footballer or the deadliest finisher. Flashpoints intensify the rivalry. Missed penalties, on-field confrontations, and the infamous Pizzagate tunnel clash in 2004. Arsenal's Invincibles go unbeaten that year, while United fans point to their treble pedigree. For 5 seasons, every head-to-head feels like a final. Rooney versus Tevez. Wayne Rooney and Carlos Tevez begin as strike partners at Manchester United, lifting the 2008 Champions League together. Their chemistry fuels back-to-back Premier League titles, with Tevez contributing 34 goals over 2 seasons. But in 2009, Tevez refuses a permanent move and crosses the city to Manchester City, sparking one of the Premier League's most bitter feuds. Rooney, United's talisman with over 200 career goals for the club, publicly criticises the switch, calling it a betrayal. Tevez, now in Sky Blue, fuels City's title ambitions, scoring 20 goals in 2009-10 and famously hoisting the RIP Fergie sign in the 2012 parade. The move marks a power shift in Manchester football. The rivalry peaks in the Manchester derbies of the early 2000s and 10s, where each player represents not just a club, but a city divided. Rooney's loyalty is immortalised in record books. Tevez's rebellion becomes a city legend. Buffon versus Casillas. Gianluigi Buffon and Iker Casillas dominate European goalkeeping through the 2000s, representing 2 footballing giants, Italy and Spain. Their first major showdown comes at Euro 2008, when Spain eliminates Italy in a penalty shootout, with Casillas saving twice. 4 years later, Casillas leads Spain to a 4-0 demolition of Italy in the Euro 2012 final, solidifying his legacy in head-to-head duels. Statistically, both keepers cross the 300 clean sheet mark, rack up over 170 international caps each, and win nearly every trophy available. Buffon with the 2006 World Cup, Casillas with the 2010 edition and 2 European Championships. Both serve as long-time captains, commanding their nations through tactical eras and generational change. Despite the rivalry, their respect for each other never fades. They swap shirts, embrace post-match, and publicly praise each other's longevity and leadership. 2 legends, 1 position, and decades of elite consistency define this quiet but iconic rivalry. Ibrahimovic versus Cavani. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Edinson Cavani clash at Paris Saint-Germain between 2013 and 2016, as two of the club's most prolific scorers battle for alpha status. The tension begins early, with both players arriving as high-profile signings. Zlatan in 2012, Cavani a year later for €64 million, then a League One record fee. Despite both delivering goals, friction builds around penalty duties, shot selection, and media attention. In matches, their chemistry often falters. Cavani is pushed wide to accommodate Zlatan's central role, despite being a natural striker. Locker room reports cite disagreements over ego and leadership, with multiple penalty disputes playing out on live TV. Zlatan ends his PSG spell with 156 goals and 4 League One titles. But Cavani eventually overtakes him as the club's all-time top scorer with 200. Though never explosive off the pitch, their rivalry defines PSG's internal hierarchy in the mid-2010s. One player larger than life, the other relentless and under-celebrated. The next major duel shifts from club dynamics to generational midfield control. Keane versus Vieira. Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira defined Premier League hostility in the late 1990s and early 2000s. As captains of Manchester United and Arsenal, they meet 28 times from 1997 to 2005, in matches filled with tackles, stare-downs, and title implications. Between them, they collect 21 red cards in their careers, Keane with 13, Vieira with 8, reflecting the ferocity they bring to midfield control. The rivalry peaks in February 2005 at Highbury. In the tunnel before kickoff, Keane confronts Vieira for allegedly targeting Gary Neville. Cameras catch Keane barking, "I'll see you out there," and the match begins at a boil. It's more than a personal feud. It's Arsenal's technical flair against United's mental dominance, personified in two men who refuse to back down. Each retires with 7 Premier League titles between them, but their confrontations remain the most iconic midfield battles in English football. From this clash of captains, the stage shifts to a rivalry forged in loyalty and betrayal. Gerrard vs Lampard. Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard, two of England's finest midfielders, never quite found chemistry in the national setup. Despite scoring over 200 goals between them at club level, their overlapping roles and similar positioning stifled England's midfield through 3 major tournaments. Analysts, fans, and even coaches debated how to play them together. 4-4-2, diamond, staggered pivot, but nothing clicked. At club level, they clashed in some of the most heated Premier League and Champions League fixtures of the 2000s. Gerrard's Liverpool pulled off a dramatic 3-1 comeback in the 2005 Champions League semi-final, while Lampard's Chelsea dominated head-to-head league finishes. The 2006 FA Cup final adds fuel to the fire. Gerrard scores twice, including a 35-yard equaliser in stoppage time, to deliver one of the greatest finals ever. Their rivalry endures through pundit debates and pub arguments. Who was more complete, more clutch, more consistent? Neither fully eclipsed the other, which only fuels the debate further. Müller vs Klose. Germany's striker debate heats up between Thomas Müller and Miroslav Klose across 2 World Cups. In 2010, a 20-year-old Müller scores 5 goals in South Africa and claims both the Golden Boot and Best Young Player awards, while Klose, then 32, adds 4 more to his growing World Cup tally. The performances spark debate over who should lead the line as Germany builds toward the 2014 tournament. Klose's experience and aerial threat remain vital, and in Brazil 2014, he scores twice, equaling and then surpassing Ronaldo Nazario's all-time World Cup record with 16 goals. But Müller, again, is Germany's top scorer with 5, bringing his own tournament tally to 10 by age 24. The two share minutes and roles, with Müller often deployed as a roaming forward while Klose finishes chances in the box. Their rivalry is one of succession rather than conflict, Müller emerging just as Klose cements his legacy. As Germany lifts the trophy in Rio, the transition between generations is complete. Robben versus Ribery. Arjen Robben and Frank Ribery form one of the deadliest winger duos in modern football, dubbed Robbery, during their Bayern Munich reign. But behind the goals and trophies was a clash of personalities, especially over free kicks and penalties. In the 2012 Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid, they argue over who should take a crucial set piece. The dispute turns physical in the dressing room, forcing Bayern management to intervene. Their competitive tension eventually drives individual brilliance. Robben scores the winning goal in the 2013 Champions League final against Dortmund, while Ribery delivers a season so dominant that many felt he deserved the Ballon d'Or over Ronaldo and Messi. Instead, Ribery finishes third, feeling overlooked despite a treble-winning campaign. Over time, mutual respect grows, but their rivalry leaves a lasting impact on Bayern's golden era. Suarez versus Chiellini. The rivalry between Luis Suarez and Giorgio Chiellini peaks during one of the most infamous moments in World Cup history. In the 2014 group stage match between Uruguay and Italy, Suarez bites Chiellini on the shoulder, his third biting incident as a professional. The referee misses it in real time, but FIFA hands Suarez a 4-month ban from all football activity, including 9 international matches. The tension stems from previous physical battles, including Champions League clashes and aggressive friendlies. Chiellini, Italy's no-nonsense defender, often marks Suarez with close contact tactics. Despite the bite, Chiellini chooses not to retaliate and downplays the incident post-match, saying he holds no grudge. In 2020, the two finally bury the hatchet by swapping shirts after a Champions League draw between Juventus and Barcelona. The rivalry begins in violence but ends in rare mutual respect, proof that even the most hostile player conflicts can evolve. Cantona versus Shearer. Eric Cantona and Alan Shearer dominate English football's early Premier League era, but in very different ways. Between 1992 and 1997, the two regularly finish among the league's top scorers, Cantona dazzling for Manchester United, Shearer smashing records for Blackburn Rovers and later Newcastle. Their rivalry intensifies not just through goals, but through direct clashes, including heated on-pitch confrontations and thinly veiled jabs in the press. One infamous incident occurs in 1996 when Cantona elbows Shearer after a foul, triggering a near brawl before teammates intervene. Their personalities couldn't be more different. Shearer is consistent and clinical, Cantona charismatic and combustible. Both lead their sides in title races, with Shearer winning the 1994-95 title at Blackburn and Cantona guiding United to 4 in 5 seasons. The rivalry fades as Cantona retires early in 1997, while Shearer continues to rack up goals. But their contrasting styles leave a lasting imprint on Premier League identity. Bale versus Griezmann. Between 2014 and 2019, Gareth Bale and Antoine Griezmann emerge as two of La Liga's brightest stars, one anchoring Real Madrid's counterattack, the other powering Atletico Madrid's rise. Bale, armed with elite pace and a cannon of a left foot, scores in the 2014 and 2018 Champions League finals, both against Griezmann's Atleti. Griezmann, despite reaching 2 UCL finals and scoring in one, ends up on the losing side both times. Their rivalry stretches beyond club lines. As leaders of their national teams, Griezmann becomes the creative engine for France's World Cup triumph in 2018, while Bale almost single-handedly carries Wales to the Euro 2016 semi-finals. Their styles reflect their paths. Griezmann relies on positioning, vision, and link-up play. Bale devastates with raw athleticism and direct shots from range. As injuries slow Bale and Griezmann returns to Atletico after a rocky Barcelona stint, their rivalry cools. But their clash of styles defined a tactical era in Spanish and European football. Mandzukic vs Ramos. Mario Mandzukic and Sergio Ramos develop one of football's most physically intense rivalries across club and international stages. Their confrontations span Champions League clashes, most notably Real Madrid versus Juventus, and fierce duels between Spain and Croatia. In every encounter, elbows fly, jerseys are ripped, and tempers run high. Ramos, notorious for his aggressive marking, often toes the disciplinary line, while Mandzukic retaliates with brute strength and well-timed goals. In the 2015 UCL semi-final, Ramos and Mandzukic exchanged shoves and fouls for 90 exhausting minutes. At Euro 2016, their battles resume as Mandzukic's Croatia tops Spain in the group stage. Their tension peaks when Ramos sees yellow or red, and Mandzukic capitalizes with gritty finishes, proving he thrives under pressure. This rivalry never needed flashy tricks or media hype, just pure, unfiltered competitiveness. Their collisions became highlights in every match they shared. Mbappe vs Haaland. Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland are shaping the modern era's fiercest player rivalry. Since 2019, the two have risen as the heirs to Messi and Ronaldo's legacy, but with entirely different skill sets. Mbappe offers explosive acceleration, 1-versus-1 brilliance, and World Cup pedigree. Haaland counters with a striker's physique, blistering pace, and absurd efficiency inside the box. They're dual centers around the Champions League, where both are rewriting scoring charts before age 25. By mid-2025, Haaland tallies over 40 UCL goals, while Mbappe leads PSG in both goals and assists. While Mbappe dazzles on the international stage for France, Haaland battles legacy issues with Norway, but dominates at club level. Their clash isn't just about numbers, it's about style, stakes, and who defines the next decade. They're both under 26, signed to title-chasing clubs, and hungry for Ballon d'Or. The real fireworks are still to come. Terry versus Ferdinand. John Terry and Rio Ferdinand were once England's defensive backbone, starting side by side at 2 World Cups and several major tournaments. But their partnership collapsed in 2011 after Terry was accused of racially abusing Anton Ferdinand, Rio's younger brother, during a match between Chelsea and QPR. Though Terry was acquitted in court, the FA still imposed a 4-match ban and £220,000 fine, leading to national outrage and lasting tension. The fallout caused deep fractures within the England squad. Terry was stripped of the England captaincy for the second time, and Rio was omitted from Euro 2012 under the guise of footballing reasons. Behind the scenes, the squad reportedly split into camps, with some players backing Terry and others siding with Ferdinand. Media speculation about dressing room divisions dominated headlines throughout the tournament cycle. Despite overlapping for years in the Premier League and internationally, the two never publicly reconciled. What began as a world-class centre-back pairing ended as one of football's most bitter personal feuds.